Today we will be discussing your first unit of paper first, that is algae. Now this we shall be covering in three subheadings: introduction, definition, and distribution of algae. Friends, the word algae or algae means seaweeds. There are approximately 1800 genera and 21,000 species of algae that we know, and their study is known as phycology. Phycos means fucus or seaweeds, and logo means to study or discourse. They are of great importance as they are the primary producers of oxygen. 90% of the total photosynthesis on Earth is carried out by algae. Uh, Initially, scientists classified plants into two groups: cryptogams and phanerogams. Cryptogams, those plants in which there is no clear-cut differentiation of root, stem, and leaves, and phanerogams, plants having flowers and having a clear distinction between root, stem, and leaves. Cryptogams were divided into three divisions: thallophytes, bryophytes, and pteridophytes. Among thallophytes, there were again two groups. One was algae and another was fungi. Algae, that group which had chlorophyll bearing plants, and fungi, that group in which chlorophyll was not present. The term algae was first of all introduced by Linnaeus in 1753. It is a large heterogeneous group of plants which are diverse in habitat, size, organization, biochemistry, cytology, physiology, and reproduction. This is one of the important group of thallophyta, most primitive and most simplest. These are chlorophyll containing prokaryotic as well as eukaryotic, unicellular to multicellular thallate, autotrophic like bryophytes, but there is a difference between bryophytes and algae. Algae do not have multicellular female sex organs, as well as the development of zygote is not by means of embryo. Now this was about algae. Now coming to their definition, a number of workers have defined them in a different manner. Like first of all, let's take Frisch, who defined algae in 1935 as holophytic organisms that fail to reach the higher level of differentiation as archegonid plants like bryophytes. Smith in 1955 defined them as simple plants with autotrophic mode of nutrition. Chapman 1962 defined them as the most simplest plants in plant kingdom. Prescott in 1969 defined them as chlorophyll bearing organisms which are thalloid, and Singh in 1974 defined them as simple plants having a spectrum of photosynthetic pigments and evolving oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. So after looking at all these definitions, we can conclude the definition of algae in a very simple manner. And what I say is these are chlorophyllous, spore-bearing thallophytes in which sex organs are not jacketed. Now this point that sex organs are not jacketed is very important, as in higher groups the sexual organs are normally jacketed. They are also defined as chlorophyll bearing organisms possessing unicellular or multicellular sex organs, and in which every cell has capacity to form a gamete. Now friends, as far as their habitat is concerned, they are ubiquitous in nature. That is, they are found in nearly all types of habitat found on Earth. They may be found on soil, snow, ice, air, plants, inside the body of another plant or animal. So there is, I can say, no place in which algae is not found. So they can be categorized into three major categories. One, prevailing on soil. Second category, prevailing in water. And third category, those found in unusual habitats. Now, for the sake of easiness, I have prepared this small diagram in which I have described their habitats. First of all, starting with the aquatic habitat, the water on Earth is found in three major types: freshwater, brackish water, and marine water. Freshwater is that water which is found in lakes, ponds, pools, and in which the salt concentration is less than 0.05%. Brackish water is mixture of fresh water as well as sea water, and in these the salt concentration is less than 3%. And the third category is marine or sea water, in which the salt concentration is more than 3%. The algae may be found submerged or free floating on the surfaces of water. The aquatic algae can be of various types, like banthophytes. These are those algae which are found attached on the base of lakes, ponds, pools. Both fresh and marine water algae are there. Almost all brown algae are banthophytes. Example are Batrachospermum, Enteromorpha, Cladophora, Cara, Nightella. Now coming to next, that is epiphytes. These are those which are found attached or free on margins, on shores. They can be delimited from banthophytes only with some difficulty. And examples are Udogonium, Eulothrix, Chaetophora, Spirogera. Now coming to third category, that is planktophytes. These are found free floating on the surfaces of water, and these are mostly of two types: euplanctophytes and tychoplanctophytes. Eu, which are never attached and are always free from beginning, like diatoms, chlamydomonas, volvox, and tychophytes, which were attached initially, but in due course of time they became free floating. Examples are Spirogana, Zygnema, Udogonium, Rivularia, Nostoc, Sargassum. Now coming to next category of aquatic algae, they are thermophytes. Those algae which are found in high temperatures ranging from 50 to 73 degrees centigrade, and examples are Cytonema, Formidium, Masticocladus. The temperature may even reach to 85 degrees centigrade. Coming to halophytes, which are found in salty waters like Dunaliella, Chlamydomonas. Coming to epiphytes, these are those algae which are found on the surfaces of another water plants. It mainly includes member of Basilorophyceae like Acanthis, Tabellaria. Some other examples are Aphanochate, Bulbochate, Udogonium. Some species of Coliochate are epiphytic upon some grasses also, which are found on the banks of ponds. Similarly, apizoophytes are those marine algae which are found on the surfaces of animals. The most common example is Cladophora, which is found on the shells of mollusks, Protoderma, and Brachycladia are found on the turtle backs. Carassiopsis and Carassium are found on the posterior and anterior legs of Branchippus. Now these are some of the cases of aquatic algae. Now coming to those algae which are found terrestrially, like aerophytes. These are found in air, and these may be categorized into three types: epiphytophytes, epiphlophytes, and epizoophytes. Epiphyllophytes are those which are found on the leaves of plants. The most common example is Trentipolia, which is found in the bark of trees, fencing wires, rocks. Phycopeltis, which is found on plant rubus. Phyllosiphon, which is found on Erythema and Oscillatoria. Epiphyllophytes, which is found on the bark of trees, mixed with many other mosses or liverworts. Example is Satonema, Oscillatoria, Haplosiphon, Schizothrix, along with liverworts, no doubt. And the third is Epizoophytes, which is found on the bodies of animals, like Chitophorians, which are found on the hairs of sloth. The fourth category is lithophytes, which are found on rocks and walls like Satonema, Anabina, Vaucheria, Nostoc. Another category of terrestrial algae is edaphophytes. These are those algae which inhabit soil. Now these are of two major types, one epiterranean in nature and another subterranean in nature. The former are called as sapophytes and the latter are known as cryptophytes. Some of the examples of sapophytes are Vaucheria, Botridium, Fischella, and most of the members of Myxophyceae, while cryptophytes are found inside the soil, and mostly members of Myxophyceae are found in this. They also fix atmospheric nitrogen. Examples are Anabina, Nostoc, Euglena, Chlorella. Now coming to another category of algae which inhabits unusual habitats like cryophytes. These are those algae which are found in ice or snow. Now these may form red snow, yellow snow, green snow, violet snow, yellowish green snow. So a variety of colorful snow can be found just because of algae. For example, the green snow is cast by Chlamydomonas mesotonium, red snow by Chlamydomonas Stotelia diatoms, yellow green snow by Eulothrix, Odogonium, Pleurococcus, Nostoc. According to Alaska in 1942, the algae can be of various types on the basis of the snow which they inhabit, like algae like Encylonema inhabits ice, Sotiella found on snow, Trochisia found on both ice and snow, Formidium Glucapsa, which are also found on both ice and snow, but these are not true cryophytes. Coming to endophytes, these are those algae which are found inside the plant bodies of, plants like Anabina, Nostoc, endozoic, which are found in the bodies of animals. The most common example is Zooxanthia in sponges, Chlorella in hydra. Symbiotic, a unique association of algae with other members like lichens, in which algae are present along with fungi. Algae of Cyanophyceae and Chlorophyceae like Nostoc, Formidium, Melocera. These all are symbiotic in nature and they do fix atmospheric nitrogen. Another category of algae which are parasitic in nature, these include one of the very common example, Cephalurose virescens, which causes red rust of teeth. Polysiphonia, which is parasitic on some other algae. Another important category of algae which is found in rapidly flowing water is fluviatile algae, and some of the examples are Eulothrix, which are found in mountain falls, Stegopolium, Batrachospermum. So friends, uh, these are some of the habitats in which algae are found, and after discussing all these points, we can discuss some of the very important characteristics of algae. Like these are chlorophyll, bearing autotrophic, thalloid plant body organisms. These are mostly aquatic in nature. The thallus varies from unicellular to multicellular in nature. They do not have any vascular tissue, and if tissue is there, then it is undifferentiated. The sex organs may be unicellular or multicellular, and if multicellular, then all the cells are fertile. There is no jacket layer around the sexual organs. The zygote divides by either mitosis or meiosis, but they do not divide further by embryo. They have a distinct alternation of generation. Alternation of generation is the alternation of sporophytic and gametophytic generations, and these two are independent of each other. So kindly remember all these points in your mind when we are discussing algae. So this was all about this first lecture of algae, in which we discussed about the introduction, definition and distribution of algae. In the second lecture, we'll be discussing about the range of thallus organization of algae. Thank you.